Ready for the sequel that slaps even harder than episode 9? You cut the salt, you bought the supplements, you bought into what the oysters are selling you, you gave up bread, joy, cheese, yada, 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 but you still feel like a bloated bagel with knees that bark back. Welcome to the Lazy Cow Quiz. It's your lovingly sassy, truth-telling, asset-kicking moment of reckoning, and yes, the quiz is downloadable and in the show notes so you can make your own copy. And boy, oh boy, will you need it. Looking for more joy and less oi? Of course you are. If you're ready for simple, tiny tweaks, not giant leaps, to your eats, your moves, your peeps, your beliefs, and your life, you are in the right place. Each episode will leave you moving, feeling, and looking even more incredible while keeping the oysters at bay. And I'm not referring to the bivalve mollusks. Here's your host, the queen of more joy, less oi, that fan wellness Weiss. Welcome back, JOYsters, and soon-to-be fellow JOYsters. I hope you're moving those fine young assets as you partake with me, or at least standing, because today we're diving head and glutes first into a brutally honest and highly revealing quiz that might explain exactly why you're still feeling like a sack of oi. And if you have already tuned in to episode 9, Overfed and Undermoved, you already got your first slap upside your fine young assets. And hopefully you've been applying those tiny, tiny tweaks so you're now a joyful rock star. And hey, if you've been making tiny tweaks and are really reaping the benefits, please, oh please, let me know because it keeps me going and it helps others listen too. But if you're still not convinced that eating too much and moving way too little is behind your aches, your fatigue, your jiggles, and your sighs and moans, then get ready for the Am I a Lazy Cow quiz. Let's break it down with a little math. No worries there if you suck at math. I'll break it down for you. You sleep about 8 hours a day. That leaves you with about 16 waking hours, right? According to a gazillion studies and my very scientific eyeballs, the average American moves, wait for it, 2 hours per day max.
Say what?
And I'm not even talking about joining a gym or attending my amazing Funique Total Brain, Body, and Booty, of course, class. Shameless plug. I'm talking about simple movement, like from the car to the store, from your house to the mailbox, standing while you're stirring the sauce, picking up your Amazon package right at the front door, and hopefully you're not making those oyful groans and moans when you bend down, not over to pick it up, right? I'm watching you, sister or brother. So back to the math. That means that most of us are horizontal or seated for 22 out of 24 hours in a day. Yet we feast like there's a famine coming. So here's the pop quiz you didn't study for but desperately need. And don't you just love those pop quizzes? Remember those sexy quizzes from Vogue magazine? Or maybe that was Cosmo? I can't remember. Can you? Those were awesome. Well, this one isn't as sexy, but I can promise it will be a serious wake-up call that you will absolutely want to pause, pace, and ponder. So I ask you, are you a lazy cow? I know, that's harsh. But before you plotz and throw your protein shake at the speaker, hear me out. I did not make this up. There was actually a drive-up convenience store up north. You guessed it, it's called a Lazy Cow. You'd pull up, someone would trot your groceries to the window, and you'd drive off feeling like a rock star, but your glutes staged the protest from disuse. And while it may sound convenient for you not to have to budge out of your car and get off your fine young assets, your knees, hips, and back pay even more of a price than you did for the convenience of someone delivering your groceries a few feet for you. And the price is called, drumroll please, no acetal disease. So to help you figure out where you stand or sit, I borrowed my own quiz from my amazing book published about 10 years ago, Move Your Assets from the Chair, Not the Bank. And you can go grab your own copy on Amazon right now, shameless plug, and have it delivered by tomorrow. But of course, you have to go out there and bend down and pick it up. So grab a pencil, not a pen, because you'll soon be erasing the little boxes that you checked yes to. Well, literally or metaphorically. So stand up, use that standing desk that you bought or the makeshift one, and let's party and partake in the Am I a Lazy Cow quiz. Put a check next to all that apply and be honest, I'm watching you. Number 1, I almost always drive through rather than walk in, even when it's 72 and sunny. Number 2, I drive around for the closest spot to my destination rather than just immediately pull into an open space further away. I do this even when it's 72 and sunny. Number 3, when I'm at a party, I park myself on a comfy couch or a chair and I melt into it. However, I do get up when I want more pastries and wine. And of course, when I have to visit the party. Number 4, I spend a heck of a lot more time binge watching and binge eating, scrolling and sitting on my assets than I do actually moving them. Number 5, I avoid using steps at any cost, even if they are right next to the escalator. Why are there steps on an escalator anyway? Aren't you supposed to just stand there? Number 6, I can sit for very, very, very long periods of time, be totally comfortable on my assets without busting a move. Ask me to stand for 5 minutes or more, there's no freaking way I'm going to make it. Because every single part of my body is killing me, especially my knees, my hips, and my back, and I'm just going to plotz with exhaustion. Number 7, and you know I have a serious pet peeve with this one. I conveniently leave my shopping cart, or wagon for us New Yorkers, in the parking space next to mine because it really never occurred to me to return it to the grocery store, let alone the convenient shopping cart holder a few feet away from my car. And it also didn't occur to me that it may actually smash into someone else's car.
Oh no!
Or that my grocery prices are higher because someone is actually being paid to move his or her own assets and retrieve my runaway cart. Don't get me started. Number 8, I schedule my nail and hair appointments weekly. However, I do not do the same when it comes to moving my assets. Those 20 tiny pieces of dead skin attached to my hands and feet take priority. Number 9, I sit and watch my grandkids or my kids play in the park. I would rather gossip with Lois about her neighbor Hortense at her affair with the pool boy than join in any other reindeer games with the kiddies. But hey, at least we're talking and not scrolling simultaneously, right? And number 10, I enjoy, pun intended, scheduling lunches, card games, and movies with the girls, and brunches with the family on Sundays. Anything that requires us to park our assets and talk. The concept of walking whilst talking is unfamiliar to me. And yeah, I much prefer words rather than walks with friends. So why don't you take a little pause, pace and ponder, move yourself sideways, backwards, upside down. Well, don't do that. Arms up over your head and open and close your fingers and do a lot of the little things that you've learned from prior episodes. And then come back and meet me here and let's discuss the results. So how did you do? How many boxes did you check? Well, let me help you out with a little scoring recap. If you checked 1 to 2 boxes, well, oh my gosh, JOYster, you get the gold star. You've obviously been tweaking the tweaks and walking the walk. Or your name is Allie or Cindy, and no worries, you will hear a lot about them in an upcoming episode. And if you've already partaken in my book, you know a lot about them and why we all want to be like them when we grow up. Did you check 3 to 5 boxes? Well, then you're starting to jiggle a little, but hope and muscle tone is not lost. If you checked 6 to 7 boxes, well, you might not have seen your toes in a few years, but with a little WD-40, you'll be back. Well, if you've checked 8 to 10, I know Lazy Cow is reopening and you are going to be their brand ambassador. Woohoo! The reality is that if you did check off quite a few boxes, then Sweet Cheeks, the Lazy Cow has found her new spokesmodel. And furthermore, it is of no coincidence that you're feeling the effects of many hypokinetic diseases. And please recall that the term hypokinetic literally means too little movement. And if you forgot what they are, let me recap from episode 9 and rattle off a few. Please walk with me. Let's discuss. Just to name a few, we're talking back problems, heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, lots of jiggly areas, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, type 2 diabetes, and much, much more. And how many of these sound familiar to you? You have chronic aches that doctors can't explain. You use your chronic oohs and ahs as an excuse to sit and rest your fine young assets rather than a reason to move them. You're sick often and recovery time takes forever. You're constantly tired. The party, aka the potty, is tough for you. You sustain devastating injuries simply by walking up a flight of stairs and you're down for the count. But eating those large plates of food don't seem to affect you. You take many a med for lifestyle-related conditions, aka hypokinetic diseases. I can go on, but I think you get it. No more lazy cows in denial for us. If I can move my assets out of that powerful vortex of OY, so can you. We got this. Remember, OY is inevitable, but joy is a choice. You are so not alone. And you know what? Half my life ago, when I was 30-ish, I would have probably had every box checked because I felt like crap most of the time and I didn't want to move. But I ate as if it was my last day on the planet. Every day. And at 60-ish, not one box checked. And here's the good news. You are not doomed. This isn't just about calling out lazy habits. It's about calling in hope, belief in yourself, momentum, and motivation. And today, your tiny tweak takeaway is very simple. There's just one. Yes. Uncheck one box each week. That's it. Because small steps lead to ginormous transformations. You don't need another trendy diet, another costly concoction, or a fitness gadget from medieval torture land. You need movement. Joyful, consistent, booty-moving movement. Remember the tiny tweaks we talked about in earlier episodes? Let me refresh. Parking further away. No drive-thrus. Taking the stairs. Standing whilst brushing your teeth or scrolling. And using the opposite hand, of course. I call it your less dominant because it's just underused. Using your shopping cart like a walker and returning it to its rightful home. Please appease me with that one. So take this quiz seriously or take it joyfully, but take it and keep it handy because your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to start unchecking those boxes. One booty squeeze at a time. You are not a lazy cow forever. You are a JOYster in progress. And coming up in our next episode, a 900-year-old wake-up call from my old buddy Mimo. Yep, the same Maimonides who said, overeating is equivalent to ingesting poison. And trust me, if you thought that was a mic drop moment, just wait till you hear what the godfather of preventative medicine had to say about caring for yourself. Because, spoiler alert, your soul, your sanity, and your tuchus, that is the one you are sitting on that we are working on restoring to its glory days, are all counting on it. Until then, move your fine young assets, uncheck those boxes, and go make your glutes proud. Thank you so much for joining me. Even if one tiny tweak has inspired you, I invite you to subscribe to the podcast and share it with anyone you know who could use a little more joy and a lot less OY in their lives, and who can't. Feel free to reach out to me. Visit my website at bethanwellness.com and find me on Facebook at Bethan Wellness, and feel free to email me at bethan@mooveyourassets.com. I would love to hear from you.